Hi everybody, and welcome to another video. This one is the Iwata W50 1.3 6 BGC, not to be confused with the W50 1.2 4 BPG. They're different guns. This one is a bit more of a hose, got a slightly bigger tip, but a really good gun. So temperature was about 8 degrees Celsius, and I'm using heat, which I normally do when it's quite chilly. It's been quite chilly in the UK for quite a while, although it is actually warming up now. I was painting the other day, yesterday in fact, in 19 degrees Celsius, and it was a real pleasure not to have to use heat or anything, because 19 Celsius, which is about, what's that, about 68, was absolutely fine to paint in. Anyway, enough of that. So this little gun, this little gun really made me feel a bit restricted in the UK and Europe, really, and I think the same is true of the US as well. And what I mean by that is that the Japanese get access to loads and loads of really nice little painting tools, and this is definitely one of them. And we don't. We get the LPH80. Now, I love the LPH80, so you know, I did a top 12 minigun video recently, which I uploaded, which I'll put a link in the description if anybody's interested in it. I didn't put this in it because I just hadn't had it long enough. I literally just got it to put it in there, but it would be in there, and I can't tell you where it would be, but it would be in there. But you know, there's always another day, and I'll do a micro gun video as well, because I've got a few micro guns, so I'll try and get something organised for that. But going back to what I was saying is how restricted we are in various parts of the world as to what we can get, because we are given the LPH80, and as I say, I put it in 4th place in my top 12, so I've got no downer on the LPH80. It's a lovely, fine atomising little gun, but we don't get a chance to sample something like this, which is cheaper than an LPH80. Whether it would be cheaper by the time it got over here and all the various, you know, corporate wallets were filled, I don't know. Maybe it would be more expensive, I have no idea, but you know, for what I got it for, it was cheaper than the LPH80. But it really makes you think there's other tools out there that are really nice to use, and this, for me, it really puts the LPH80 into the shade. It atomises just as well, without a shadow of a doubt, but it's got the ability to put out more fluid. Even the LPH80 I've got in 1.2, this is a 1.3, and you do notice that extra 0.1 of a millimetre, and also I think the air cap just delivers a bit more air. The actual air consumption is the same as the LPH80 with the E4 cap on it. So it's about 2.6, 2.7 CFM, which is about 75 litres per minute, I think. So it puts out a pretty good amount of material without using loads of air. So for the person at home wanting to do bigger stuff, and by bigger stuff I mean stuff like this tank, because a lot of people that use these smaller, what I call micro spray guns, a lot of people do models, and it might be a bit OTT for the guys doing models, simply because you probably won't need this sort of material. If you're doing, you know, bigger scale models, then yeah, go ahead, fill your boots. It's a really nice gun to use. But as I say, it just made me think that we're sort of a bit restricted, really, because with the LPH80, bless its soul, has been out for quite a few years, and there's other tools that are about that are really nice to use, and we just don't get to see them. So having access to something like this is really nice. Now, I got this from Painting Tools Japan. I don't have any affiliation with them, only that I'm a customer. So I bought it from them, and I bought it with a Mili or Milji finer spot, which is the small spot repair Meiji gum, which is, you know, a little masterpiece of engineering. I've got a separate video I'll do with that, but I'll put a link to the unboxing of that, and because in there you see me with this gum and the LPH50, and I think I've got the I did get the LPH80 out as well, and you just see the differences, but everything is interchangeable as such, because although the LPH80 is a top cup, this is a side cup. So if you don't like side cups, forget what I said about it being better than the LPH80, because you won't like it. But from what I've seen, a lot of people that don't like side cups, once they've used one, they get over it all right, unless you're left-handed, of course. But it's a, as I say, I'll put a link in there and you can see the differences. But it's along that line, and they're all very, very similar size and very similar types of gum. And one of the things that I'm a bit hesitant to here to say to you guys, well, not hesitant to say it, but I'm hesitating a bit when I say it, is that I've had a problem with a Kiwami 4 that I bought. I bought it from Japan. I didn't buy it from Painter Tools Japan. I bought it from a different seller about a year ago, and the seller's not on eBay anymore, which matters little really. But what I'm trying to say to you is that if you do get a problem with these things, because they're not officially imported into your country, then you're going to have to send it back to Japan, as long as the seller is playing ball, to get it done under warranty. And it just puts an obstacle there and an extra expense that you might want to think about. It's all fair and well for me to rub it on and say, oh, I got this thing from Japan and it's the best thing since sliced bread, but there could be a downside to this. So I'm just warning you, really. I'm just being truthful that if something goes wrong, and the reason I say it is because I had a problem with a Kiwami 4, but I also have had a problem before with an LPH80. Last year my LPH80 did the same thing, and this is exactly the same. Exactly the same. A lot of the internals are the same, so you're gonna maybe get the same problem with this at some time. Although my LPH80 was a few years old, the Kiwami 4 was less than a year old. And I've also had it with another Iwata, always Iwatas. So just bear in mind, if you are buying something from Japan, that it might bite you on the bum afterwards if something goes wrong. And here you see it being used for clear coat anyway, and it just puts it on so nice. It's superbly fine atomisation, right up there, if not better than the LPH80. So if you're an LPH80 user and you want something that gives you a bit more oomph for the bigger panels, bear in mind it is a spot repair gun. These things, they're not designed to do a whole car really, although you probably have a go at with this, but you know what I mean. It's only designed for smaller areas, but you can see it pumping it out, and it's an absolute joy to use. And I kid you not, all the finishes you see here are all off the gun. Nothing's polished, nothing's touched. The image at the end, or the video at the end, was shot about 2 days later. This one was shot straight away, and the image at the end was shot. The video at the end was shot about two days later, and it just put it on so nice. It's right up there with the best finishes I've ever had. Now this is a U-pole clear. It's cold conditions, so this isn't ideal for this little gun. Yeah, it was absolutely superb. It really was. And as I say, it's just left me thinking now, why don't we get all these, these quirky little tools that they get in Japan that we don't? It's just, it's just funny. And I realise that the manufacturer's got to look after the tool, keep spare parts, back it up, etc. when it comes over to the well, in my case, the UK. But I just wonder why we don't get some of this stuff. We've been plugging along with the LPH80, love it though, I do, for ages. But anyway, thoroughly recommended. A great tool. Good if you've got a small compressor. Runs at 1.5 bar or thereabouts, which is half as much again as the LPH80, but still keeps its consumption down, which is maybe why it pumps out more material as well as the bigger tip. But anyway, I think you'll agree, even the flies like it. It was a beautiful finish. If you're not after a super flat finish, because this would look pretty stupid if you finished a car panel that you just repaired like this and then took all your masking off. It would look pretty silly because the rest of it wouldn't match, but you know what I mean. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching as always. Cheers, guys. Bye bye.